Hello, family. Um, as requested by Ethan, um, I'm going to do. Actually, it's not going to be one video because it will probably be too long. And hopefully, you can hear me okay because I've got the ceiling fan on, and it might drown out a bit of the noise. But Ethan requested that I perhaps read some of the things that I'm going to do because, like everything, we haven't always got time to sit and read like I have, and so I appreciate that. And yeah, it's a good idea that perhaps I put this across in a video, and then you've got time to actually listen to it as opposed to watch it. He said audio actually rather than video, but audio's a little bit different. But like me, I've done both. What I've actually done is this particular video is more of a message of what I've developed for something that I want to pass on to you, Ethan and Ruby, and your families, or what you decide to build in the future, and the message which is built within it. And the message is really quite simple. What you choose to build is quite important. You can choose anything that you wish to build. And some people say, whatever you choose to build, just build it well. But that's only half the story. Because you can build something horrible and build it very well. But at some point in your life, you'll look back and it won't work out as well as you thought. But there's actually a very simple message. And if you build something, if you have a family, it's important that everything that you do around that is centered around the building of what you've started. And as I've explained briefly, most people don't understand what symbols or symbolism really is. And symbolism, in short, is a regulator. It's kind of, you look at something and it has meaning, it has deep meaning. A photograph is a symbol. So I look at the photographs of my children playing on a beach, or their first school photo. The photo I've got up here on the windowsill of Ethan's first school photo. And it's ever such a beautiful photo because Ruby was with him. And Ruby never went to school because she's 3 years younger than him. But the school said that if they've got younger children, they can come and have their photo taken with him. And when I look at that photo, it speaks to me in a different way because Ruby was really quite scared of this process. She was quite apprehensive. What's going on here? Because she's never been to school. She doesn't know what Ethan knows, because Ethan has been going to school for a whole term. He's quite the big boy. And his face is, look at my little sister. This is my little sister. And she's got this look on her face, which is like this. What's going on? What's that man with that camera? And what's all this about? Whereas Ethan's kind of got this strength in his body, in his physiology, in his face, of protection of his sister. It's like, I'm the big brother. So for me, when I look at that picture, I see all of this. And that's what symbolism is. Now, to someone who doesn't know my children, it has less meaning. The photo is meaningless. To someone who has children, could see those things as well because they have empathy, because perhaps they've had a similar experience with their children. So this is what symbols are. So symbols are just things in life that have meaning. They have higher value, more than material value. So say, for instance, like my ring here has material value. It's got gold and it's got diamonds in it. But to me, it actually has a Chinese character in the middle of it that has much more meaning to me than the actual material value. When I look at it, I see what the Chinese character means. And that to me speaks to me very differently from the gold and the diamonds. The gold and the diamonds are pretty meaningless. It's what attracted me to the ring in the first place. But to someone else, they might look at it and see the gold and the diamonds, and they don't see the character in the middle of it. But to me, that was the character that I wanted to wear. That's why I wanted to buy it. So essentially, it didn't really matter that it was gold and diamonds. That was just another attraction. So where does symbolism lead us? If you look at the cross, people see different things when they look at the cross. For Christians, they see Christ. They also see the meaning of sacrifice. They also see many other things. For Chinese, the cross is the number 10, and it existed before Christ was sacrificed. So it means a completely different context to people's minds. Words, letters, when you write a name, so you write Ethan and Ruby, they're symbols. It's a symbolism, symbolistic, it's a name. It's a name you carry. It's a name you carry all your life. So when you get into the micro world of what symbols are, you understand that everything is symbolism. So everything has a weight, it has a value, but it has a metaphysical value. It's something that's not material. It's something that's personal. But it's far more valuable because it can't be owned, it can't be inherited, and it can't be shared with anyone. So it has a much more intrinsic value. So how can you build value outside of the material world? So this is really the backdrop of religion, because religion itself, whichever religion it is, it gives you symbolism, it gives you a reflection, and you might see the religion in different ways to someone else, but it's your way, it's the way what you bring to the table. There's a massive study on symbolism and what they actually mean, and shapes and numbers, and even the spoken sounds that we make are symbols. So I'm not going to bore you to tears with all of that. So what can I pass on to my family as a symbol? Because, I could win the lottery and I could win £100 million on the Euro lottery, which would be nice. Don't deny that. And I could pass that on, I could buy 100 houses. And people could say, oh, they're symbols. But they're not really. Because a house is not a home unless you're in it. It changes when you're no longer in it. Also, people can inherit what you owned. It's like Ecclesiastes in the Bible. Brilliant. It's probably my favourite of all things. I love it. Because it explains the meaninglessness of material. And it gets to the real core of what symbolism is really at the heart of things, of what you truly own in life and what you don't. And it asks the question of what you're building and what you really truly can build. And it is simply this: as a person made in the image of gods, you have the power to decide what you want to do. But also more than that, you have the power to make life, to create life. You also have the power to choose not to create life. This is what separates you from other animals and creatures in the world. A dog doesn't decide whether it wants to have a fuck today or whether it doesn't. It feels like it does, and it just does. It smells the female dog and it has to do it. It's impulsive. And the impulsivity drives the behaviour. Man, or woman, or human, has the ability to smell and decide, actually, I'm going to refrain. This is the power of gods. Even God himself, or God itself, cannot choose between good and evil because he sees the beauty in both. And if you don't doubt that, just look at the world. He created night and day. And in the night, weeds grow, and the weeds kill the beautiful plants. He cannot kill evil. Read Genesis. He sees the beauty in everything. So his judgment is split. Man, who he's kind of envious of, does something that he can't do, is decide where it wants to sit. And it can sit in the centre. It can choose to be evil, or it can choose to be good, or it can choose to be both of those things at the time when evil's needed and goodness is needed. And both of those, at times in our life, are required. But we never live in the extremes of each. Sometimes we need to fight in life to defend the innocent. It's a fact of life. So it's never good to not learn to fight, because sometimes we may need to. Hopefully we won't. But those pacifists will be the first to be crushed. Because God does not respect either extreme. So anyway, the mark. So I created a family symbol. And the reason why I created it is because I want it to have a deeper meaning, something that you could look at and you understand, and that hopefully, by understanding the meaning, it might regulate your steps through life. Because there will be periods in your life that will challenge you, will make you think that you're the be-all and end-all of the world, and the centre of the universe revolves just around you. And hopefully the symbol might be something that pulls you back to the centre. And it also gives you an opportunity to look at and remember what it is you're trying to build. That when you get that promotion at work and get that extra money, you remember why it is you work. And it isn't just for yourself. Now, it's different if you're in your early years and just building yourself. And it's hard when you're young to think about other people in your life. And that's meant to be that way. That's why this information is normally only transmitted when you're ready to handle it. And that's normally around the ages of between 27 and 33. I think the Jewish tradition is always around, I think they picked 33 for another numerological, for numerology reasons. But I won't go there. You can ask me about that and I'll tell you about that. But invariably it's 27, and that's for numerology as well. But 27 is also a time when the neuroplasticity of the brain has gained capacity for judgment. prior to that, and you can look this up in neurology, that we lose or gain the plasticity or lose the plasticity. Our brains are plastic, so we tend to think first and then worry, oh my God, I didn't realise that was going to happen. We have a lot of that in our youth. But once around sort of between 24 and 27, we start to hold back a bit. We start to question ourselves. And that's why this information is normally good to impart then. And that's kind of why I'm doing it now, because Ethan, you're reaching that stage. Second of all, you're starting a family. You know, you've chosen someone and you've chosen responsibility, which is beautiful. Ruby, I also see that with you, because you've chosen Danny, and you're also, with your work, you've seen a direction with your work that you were working at this company and you're forging ahead and thinking, I want something more. So I can see this, the cogs working. You're trying to build, you're going into your next area. So the mark is basically explaining where you are in this pattern, this cycle of life, because there is a pattern, and there's the foundation, and then you move into the material world, and then you're there for a period of time. And then you come out of the material world. Some people might say, oh, is that retirement? It's not really quite retirement, but it's you get the opportunity to survey what you've built in the material world. And that's called a flat 9. And that's kind of where I am now. And then I look back and I see what I built. And similar to the words in Genesis, it was good, very good, and I'm very pleased with the work that I did. It was never easy. In fact, it was very difficult, but I look back and I'm very happy with it. And then you move into the natural cycle of your life, which is the end, where everyone must die, because all cycles of life, if you're born, you must die, and you don't know when that's going to be. And some people who have built badly it could be torturous, but also sometimes they're given a long time to put things right. So sometimes a long life is not necessarily a good life. It's a perverse world. So this is the first video, just to explain what the mark is. But it is a symbol. It's a symbol that no one can inherit, because you own it. It has profound value if you cherish it, if you understand it, and if you live by it. It also has secrets in it. Now that sounds all kind of mysterious. But something that has value needs to be kept. So I have put messages in it that speak to us as a family. They're not like going to change the universe, but they change the universe within you, because they, when you see them, the letters, the symbols, the characters, you know what they mean. And the good thing is no one else does. Other people may guess, and you may decide to tell them. You may decide to tell them something else, which also gives you a kind of satisfaction and power. But whatever you decide to tell them, whether you tell them what they really mean, no one can own them. They can't inherit. They can only inherit when you pass them on to your family, to your children. And hopefully you'll do what I'm doing today at the right time, when you feel, if you feel, that this is information worthy of passing on. If you feel that character, uprightness, levelness, and responsibility. In Chinese, they call that ren and yi. Ren is to be upright and responsible, and yi is to be dutiful and honourable. I don't believe in consequences, and it's funny that I came into contact with my grandmaster in martial arts, and he named his school Ren Yi Wu Guan. Ren Yi Wu Guan. Honourable, respectful, dutiful. And it's honourable, respectful, dutiful, and loyal. It's similar. It's not the exact translation, but that's what they are. But these words are not created by him. They actually come from Confucius. They go back a very, very long way. And Lao Tzu, another Master Lao Tzu, if you read the Tao Te Ching, explains a lot about Ren and Yi. Through ritual practice, it takes effort to be Ren and Yi. It's not something that you are. You have to work at it. And he did the Ren and Yi with the symbolism of the characters. You looked at the symbol and it reminded you what you needed to be. It wasn't easy. Sometimes you needed to work hard at it. So this is the first video just to explain what it is, and what I want you to do is have a look at it. The mark. I will explain in detail what they are. Like me and like all things, I probably go a little bit overboard. Because as I explain things, I have to, because I'm auditory, not visual, I'm auditory visual, so I tend to go on a bit because I have to explain it to myself and make it clear to myself. You might have got what I'm talking about ages ago and sort of, yeah, get on with it, Dad. I'm there already. But that's because you're visual, auditory. You're already seeing what I'm saying and you want to move on. So this is another reason, because I do know what my children are, and I do know that you are actually visual auditory. So I have done this PowerPoint, and this PowerPoint explains our family symbol, and I want you to look at it, I want you to understand it, and if you think it's a pile of poo, then tell me, and that's fine. It's mine. You don't have to own it. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But hopefully you will like it. The next video I'm going to do is actually going to jump forward to slide 3 in this, because before everything starts, it starts with a rhythm. The rhythm of the family. But obviously the presentation itself does not start at slide 3. But hopefully slide 3 might lock you in a little bit more. So all my love, and I look forward to going through this with you.